All right, today we're diving into a journey that's, well, it's more than just a road trip. It's an absolute institution. We're talking about South Africa's legendary garden route. You know, that stretch of coast that's just jam-packed with unbelievable scenery, ancient forests, and tons of adventure. So let's get right into it.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to get our bearings and figure out what the garden route actually is, and maybe more importantly, what it isn't. Then we'll dig into why this little corner of Africa is such a massive draw for nature lovers. After that, we'll build the ultimate bucket list, everything from super chill hikes to pure adrenaline rushes. And finally, we'll get into the nitty-gritty, the practical stuff you need to plan your own epic trip. Let's start with the basics.
Okay, first up, what exactly is the garden route? Before we go any further, let's just tackle the biggest myths right away. Because honestly, the reality of this place is so much wilder than its name lets on.
I mean, think about it. When you hear that name, the garden route, what pops into your head? Perfect manicured flower beds, maybe? Quaint little botanical gardens all along the road? Yeah, that's what a lot of people think, but that's not it at all.
So yeah, the name has absolutely nothing to do with those perfect manicured gardens. The reality, oh, it's so much wilder. It's actually all about the lush green native forests and just the incredible biodiversity of the area. So you gotta think less quaint English country garden and way more untamed natural paradise.
So what is it officially? Well, the garden route is that 200 to 300 kilometer stretch of South Africa's southern coast, right along the main N2 highway. It technically kicks off in Mossel Bay in the west and wraps up at the Storms River mouth in the east.
But here is the absolute key thing to understand. It's not really a linear route that you have to drive from A to B. It's a whole region that's just bursting with things to see and do. Honestly, the best way to tackle it is to set up a home base in a town like Knysna and just do day trips from there. You get to see everything without constantly packing and unpacking. It's a game changer.
Okay, so we know what it is. Now let's get to the why. What is it that makes this slice of coastline so legendary? Why do people come from all over the planet to see it? It really boils down to a few incredible things. First, the coastal scenery is just wow. It's jaw-dropping. You're driving through the largest continuous indigenous forest in all of South Africa. The weather is pretty mild all year round, and the sheer number of different things to do, from spotting wildlife to fine dining, is just insane for such a small area.
And to give you a sense of the scale here, the heart of this whole region is the Garden Route National Park. We're talking a massive 1,210 square kilometers of protected land. It was formed back in 2009 when they merged a bunch of existing parks, like Tsitsikamma and Wilderness, into one giant conservation area.
And here's the secret sauce behind its name. This climate is totally unique. The garden route is the only region in all of Africa that gets rain all year long. There's no real dry season, which means the landscape stays green and vibrant and lush 24/7. It's a true garden on a continent that's famous for its deserts. All right, now for the really fun part. Let's build your ultimate garden route bucket list. We're going to take a tour of the absolute must-do experiences, basically working our way from the west side to the east. Let's start in the wilderness area. It's all about the water here. You can rent a canoe and just paddle up the ridiculously peaceful Tau River. It feels like you're entering a whole other world. That paddle takes you to the start of the Kingfisher Trail, a gorgeous hike that ends at this amazing waterfall. And get this, along the way, you get to cross the river on this awesome, old-school hand-pulled ferry. It's so cool! Moving on, we hit Knysna, which is kind of the unofficial capital of the garden route. The whole town is built around this huge lagoon, and the number one thing you have to see are the Knysna Heads. They're these two gigantic cliffs that stand guard where the lagoon crashes into the ocean. You can also wander around the stylish Tsitsikamma Islands, take a sunset cruise, and of course you absolutely have to try the world-famous Knysna oysters. It's a rule. Just a little further down the road is Plettenberg Bay, or Plet, as everyone calls it. The highlight here, without a doubt, is hiking the Rawberg Peninsula. The views are just unreal, and as you walk around the point, you'll hear, and definitely smell, a massive colony of about 3,000 Cape fur seals. Plet also has some fantastic wine farms, and if you're there at the right time of year, it's an amazing spot for whale watching. And at the far eastern end, you've got Tsitsikamma National Park. This place is the adventure capital.
You can walk across that famous wobbly Storms River suspension bridge, you can kayak way down into this dramatic river gorge, or you can zip line through the forest canopy. And for the real daredevils, the Blue Crans Bridge is right nearby, home to the world's highest commercial bridge bungee jump. We're talking a 216-meter drop, no big deal. And for you serious hikers out there, Tsitsikamma is also the starting point for the Otter Trail, which is probably South Africa's most famous track. It's a tough 5-day hike along the coast, and the whole thing really comes down to day 4. You have to cross the Blue Crans River, and you can only do it at low tide. It's a truly legendary and very demanding adventure.
Now, pulling off an epic trip like the Otter Trail, or any trip here, really, it takes a bit of planning. So let's shift gears and talk about the practical stuff. Here are the absolute need-to-knows for your trip. So when should you go? Honestly, there's no bad time. Summer is warm, sunny, perfect for the beach, but it's also super crowded. Spring and autumn are wonderful. Fewer people, beautiful blooming flowers. But, winter has a secret weapon. It's the absolute best time to spot southern right whales all along the coast. And how much time should you set aside? Well, the sweet spot seems to be somewhere between 3 and 6 days. That's enough time to hit all the highlights, squeeze in a few adventures, and actually soak it all in without feeling like you're in a mad rush. Okay, let's talk about some pro driving tips for when you're on the road. Super important, this one. They drive on the left side of the road in South Africa. Don't forget that. You'll also notice something cool. Slower cars will actually pull onto the shoulder to let you pass. It's just a local courtesy. And here's how you say thank you back. After you pass them, just give a quick flash of your hazard lights. It's the local thanks. And one more thing, keep your eyes peeled for those brown road signs. Those are your ticket to all the tourist spots and hidden gems.
And really, if I had to sum up the whole experience, this quote from a well-traveled visitor just says it all. The scenery is as good as anywhere I've seen anywhere in the world. It's truly that special. So from the quiet rivers of wilderness to the crazy heights of the Blue Crans Bridge, the garden route really does have something for everyone. So the only question left is, when you get there, what are you going to discover first?